YouTube, what's up? Riz here with an updated NFL mock draft. Quite a few changes here. Pretty excited about this. Changes are based off news, rumors around the league that are pretty much confirmed. Good sources. Couple things I want to get into before this mock here. Number one, this is a mock of what I think will happen rather than what should happen. Just kind of like I said, based off the news and rumors. It's this stuff I think will happen, most likely. Um, Another thing is if this video gets 200 likes, I will post my big board. I'll post a link on our Twitter at frogs_angels. Please check that out. We got draft talk and gaming videos on that. But 200 likes gets the big board out. Big board's not complete, but I'm pretty confident in most of it as of now. Starting to finish it up. And with 400 likes, I'll post what should happen mock draft. I'll play GM for every team, and and maybe some trades too. I'll just draft based off what I would do if I was that team. So it would be a little different than this one. But this one is more likely to happen. As of now, things obviously change. Got the Senior Bowl and the Combine coming up. But I feel like this is a pretty accurate mock draft as of now. So let's get into it. First overall, obvious one, Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett, edge rusher from A&M. There was a poll taken from GMs around the league, and all of them expect the Browns to go Myles Garrett. They said they would go Myles Garrett. It just seems like he's the number one player in the draft, and I would be surprised if it wasn't Myles Garrett. Number two, I have the Niners taking Deshone Kizer, quarterback from Notre Dame. I wouldn't take him with the second overall pick personally. I'm not as high on Kizer as others might be. But the talk is Kizer and Trubisky are the favorites. I haven't really heard anything about Kizer dropping, according to some GMs. Some GMs do think Trubisky isn't worth that high of a pick. Some are really high on him. Some are just not at all. Kaiser's kind of just sounds like people are high on him. I'm not as high on him, so that's why I went Kizer. I had Trubisky for the Niners. I swapped it just recently. So I have Kizer going to the Niners because he seems to be the favorite as of now. And I have the Bears taking Mitch Trubisky, North Carolina quarterback. Obviously, both teams in need of a quarterback. I think the Niners need more than the Bears, more positions. I think the Niners should be in full rebuild mode. The Bears shouldn't really be in full rebuild mode. I think if they need quite a few defensive backs. Also could use a receiver, some offensive line, but quarterback's obviously the biggest need. But they have some solid players on defense. The front seven, pretty solid. So I don't know if the Bears should be in full rebuild mode. You go quarterback or safety here, maybe corner. Too early for corner at 3, I'd say. Trading backs. I said that in the last mock draft. Bears are in a position where they can definitely trade back. I'm sure they're going to fall in love with the quarterback. The teams that look for quarterbacks end up falling in love with the quarterback every year. But chances are the Niners are going to like the same guys. So maybe if the Niners take the Bears guy, then the Bears can trade back a little bit. Or they can just take safety like Jamal Adams with the third pick. Wouldn't be terrible. But I have them taking Mitch Trubisky. Said I wasn't that high on Kizer. I'm actually a little higher on Trubisky than Kizer as of now. 1 year as a starter, that scares me a little bit. Another thing that scares me is him playing at sloppy Soldier Field. Tiny thing, not a big deal. We saw him play in the Hurricane game, which is much different, much more severe. He struggled big time, though. But risky pick, but he showed flashes of potential. Same with Kizer. Kaiser's kind of the boom or bust guy for me for this draft. He can either be the best quarterback in this draft or he can end up being a complete bust. He shows signs of both. So he's really risky for me. But that's where it sounds like he might go in that area. Fourth pick, I have the Jags taking Leonard Fournette. This is based off me a little bit, what I would take, because it was between Leonard Fournette and Jonathan Allen, and that's like the talk is one of those guys. Most experts leaning towards Allen, but I think that if the Jaguars get a big-time running back like Fournette, that opens up their offense a little bit. It helps out Blake Bortles. I think teams actually play the pass. It sounds funny, but they actually plan against the pass against Blake Bortles and the Jags. Because they ain't going to beat them they probably think they ain't going to beat them either way, but they're not going to beat them on the ground. I think if they get Fournette, it opens things up. They can run the ball. It opens things up for Bortles. So I think that would be the smartest choice there is for the Jags to go Fournette. Next up, Titans with the 5th overall. I have them taking Jamal Adams, safety from LSU. Yes, the Titans need a corner badly. Is there a corner worthy of the 5th pick? I don't think so. Really good corners in the draft. Just talked about the corners in the podcast yesterday. Go check that out. Went in depth on the corners. Really like the corners, but 5th pick's a little high. They could trade back. And some might say the Titans really don't need a safety. The safety's played pretty good this year. Yeah, but you don't want pretty good. If you can get a guy like Jamal Adams, which I'm really high on, he's actually my number 2 player in this draft. I think you need a DB. You go get the DB. You go get the best one, Pro Bowl, possibly Pro Bowl level. So I think the Titans would be smart to take Jamal Adams, and it's definitely a possibility because, I mean, they like taking the best player available, and there you go. As a DB, it's a need. You take him. Next pick, Deshaun Watson to the Jets. Jets need a quarterback. Watson's there. Some might be higher than others on him. Personally, he's my number 1 quarterback. Hard to see the Jets pass there. I was kind of going over what the Jets need. Jets are a team that they don't really need that many things. Like, they had a bad season, but they don't really need too many things. They really need a quarterback. Running back could be an option. Could lose some guys on defense. Could use an upgrade at DB, but really what it comes down to, you get a quarterback like Deshaun Watson that's a threat, passing and running. I think that can really make the Jets a good team. It really can. There's rumors to them liking Trubisky a lot. I don't know if that's smokescreen. That's sometimes you kind of have an idea if it's true or not. This one's kind of confusing. They like Trubisky. I believe somebody asked the Jets, "Is this true?" and they asked their GM, kind of rolled his eyes about it. That's the latest news. So I think the Jets will take the best available player. Watson could definitely possibly be the best available player there, but I think they're a quarterback away. It's definitely an option. Chargers next pick, Malik Hooker, safety from Ohio State. This would be a no-brainer. If they have the choice between both safeties, they can't go wrong with either. Can't go wrong with either one. They obviously need a safety. They're rumored to like Malik Hooker a lot. The Chargers last year, they were rumored to really like Joey Bosa, and then come draft time, not that many people had them taking Bosa, so they're a little surprised. So, I mean, Chargers like a guy, then they actually like a guy if they say so. So, it was a no-brainer for me there. And then the next pick, we got the Panthers. I have Jonathan Allen dropping to here, D lineman from Bama. Panthers, not their biggest need. They're going to lose Charles Johnson. I mean, they could get him back, but and they could just upgrade the pass rush. Always could upgrade a pass rush. It's very important. I know he's not the best pass rusher here, though. He also can stop the run. That's the problem with Jonathan Allen. People might think it's a little crazy. He's dropped to here. But the problem is I mean, he's very good all around. Like, stop the run, rush the quarterback. But the question is, would you rather have a guy that is a better pass rusher and not as good as a run defender, but obviously the pass rusher is more important these days. So, like, a guy I'm kind of describing as Derek Barnett, I think is a better pass rusher than Jonathan Allen, not as good against the run. Who would you rather have? I mean, that's the question for a lot of teams. Personally, I'm going for the pass rusher. More important, especially playing against Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, Winston for the Panthers. But experts saying Jonathan Allen will go high in this draft, so I could not have him getting past this pick. So that's basically why I have him there. Next pick is the guy I was just talking about, Derek Barnett, defensive end from Tennessee. Excellent pass rusher. I'm higher on him than most experts. I think Bengals would get a good pick here. Next pick is the Bills. Marshawn Lattimore, corner from Ohio State, seems to be majority of the team's favorite at corner. Probably my number 2 corner, actually. But first one coming off the board. Bills need a safety probably more than a corner. They're going to lose Gilmore, though, or could possibly lose Gilmore. I mean, they still could use some help on corner. Corner is a very important position. Always could use more. So I think they go Lattimore here. The best DB available is what it sounds like at this point. Saints get Reuben Foster, Alabama linebacker. Very good player. A little risky for me. At times, it seemed to put his head down and just wants to get a big hit. Won't really wrap up, but he's all over the place. Great player. Saints obviously need defense. This would be a good pick. Some experts have him going a little higher in this. By higher, I mean earlier pick. Browns don't really have a quarterback to take. 3 are gone. They also need a corner. Why not get a fellow Florida guy for Joe Hayden? Quincy Wilson. Potential is ridiculous for this guy. I talked about it in the podcast for corners. He's got excellent potential, but his technique is off. But I still expect him to go around this range. Browns really upgrade the defense with Myles Garrett and Quincy Wilson. Cardinals next up. Get Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a good value pick at this point. Cardinals losing Michael Floyd and could use a receiver upgrade anyways. They take Mike Williams. Eagles next up. Dalvin Cook, running back, Florida State. The Eagles would love this type of player. Fits their game. There is a slight injury concern for Dalvin Cook. I don't see it, but that's something that's floating around. We'll see at the combine. So if he's somehow hurt, Eagles could take Corey Davis here. They could go Alvin Kamara, Tennessee running back, maybe a tiny bit early for that. But he really fits the system. Colts up next. Jabril Peppers, safety, Michigan. Colts their offense can definitely move the ball. They need some defense. Defensive backs, very important. Jabril Peppers, hell of an athlete. I can see the Colts taking him. My problem with Jabril Peppers, and that's most experts' problems and teams' problems too, is he is a safety in the NFL. He had his most snaps at linebacker. That's a little risky. Can he play safety when he didn't have that many snaps there? What was the reason he was playing linebacker? Is it because he was really, really good at linebacker, or is it because he couldn't really do safety and he happened to be the better linebacker in that position on the team? So it's a little risky. Hell of an athlete, hell of a football player. So I don't think this would be a bad pick, even though it's risky for me. And that's kind of the talk around the league, is that he's a risky player. But I got him there. Ravens taking Corey Davis, wide receiver from Western Michigan. Great receiver. He's right there at Mike Williams. Difference is Mike Williams a little bit better hands and played against better competition. Corey Davis, I have a feeling once we come to the combine, most experts are going to move Corey Davis ahead of Mike Williams because Corey Davis is going to run faster. He's definitely going to run faster than Mike Williams. So I don't think I'm going to move Corey Davis ahead of Mike Williams. I'm pretty confident Mike Williams number 1, but there's going to be a lot of craziness after Corey Davis runs a great 40. So Ravens definitely could use a receiver. That would be a great pick there. Redskins get Solomon Thomas, DN from Stanford. This could be a great value pick. I know some guys are really high on this guy. Great game against North Carolina in the bowl game. Production wasn't always there during the whole year though. Not like the other defensive ends like Derek Barnett, Jonathan Allen. Production wasn't there all year. Seems to take plays off. I mean, he definitely wants to play. Not that. It just seems like he can make more plays than he did. Don't really know the reason behind that because he's definitely like a fighter, definitely a good player that wants to play. But this would be a great value pick for the Redskins. Titans take Cindy Jones, corner. Washington, obviously, corner is the biggest need. They already got that safety. I mean, I got them taking Jamal Adams and Cindy Jones. If that was the case, that would be a scary good draft. Cindy Jones happens to be my number 1 corner. I think he will drop to here. The third one off the board in this mock, just because of his size, his frame. He weighs 180. Teams might get scared because of that, but I think on the field, I think he's definitely my number 1 corner. I haven't seen an expert at him number 1. I've seen him number 2 and 3 plenty of times though. But Titans, this would be a great draft for them. Buccaneers, O.J. Howard, tight end, Bama. They do have Brait, had a pretty damn good year for a guy that nobody really knew about. But Howard I don't think Howard gets past this point. Everybody could use 2 tight ends that can play too. So Howard's definitely ready to go day 1. I think somebody ends up, I got a bold prediction for the draft. I think somebody ends up trading up for O.J. Howard. The teams behind the Buccaneers need tight ends more than they do. I think they end up trading up before the Buccaneers or before the Titans. Titans are definitely an option because Delaney Walker getting older. Fasano free agent. So I think O.J. Howard ends up going earlier in this just because of a trade. I wanted to stay away from trades though. In this one, it makes things a little confusing. But O.J. Howard, the Buccaneers, definitely a possibility. They could use a defensive back over there too, depending on the Doug Martin situation. Could use a running back. Next pick, Broncos need an O-line upgrade. Ryan Ramczyk, Wisconsin O-lineman, is by far the best lineman in this draft. Problem is he has an injury concern. I still think he's the first one off the board, even though this is late for the first offensive lineman to come off the board. So I have him there. Lions, Taco Charlton, the Lions don't really have huge needs. They can use everything almost, but there's nothing that's like a huge need. So I think it's more of like a best player available and kind of just fits the Lions. Taco Charlton, who I really like. This would be a good pick. Dolphins could use a corner. Marlon Humphrey from Bama would be a good pick here. Really other corners you can go with here that wouldn't be a bad pick. Corners are so tight in this, so closely graded for me. Giants next up take Alvin Kamara, running back from Tennessee, a guy who I really like, was really high on months ago. And now all of a sudden we got all these experts talking about him, hyping him up, saying he's first round. Just this past week we've been seeing that. So I'm glad to see that. I've been high on this guy. Definitely can make the Giants a better team, can open things up for the passing game as well, and he can be involved in the passing game. Very good receiving running back. I think he's a guy that's definitely going to be on the rise more and more. Next, Raiders take Tre'Davious White, corner, LSU, a guy that's on the rise, one of the most improved players this past year. Raiders could use defense. Offense is obviously good. Personally, would I take Tre'Davious White here? I think he's worthy first round pick, but I think there's another guy I would go with. He is he had a lot of plays. Percentage of his plays were in the slot, which means he's more of a nickel corner. So do you take a nickel corner this high? I mean, if you're in a need for one, yeah, he's a pretty good one. But a guy like Desmond King is a similar player, or Jalen Tabor, similar player. I think I like those two guys better than Tre'Davious White, but the talk is Tre'Davious White might jump those guys. Sounds like for sure he's going to jump Desmond King. Teams are worried about if he's in a corner or safety. I just see corner all day, so I'm not really sure what the concern is there. But this pick right here is really just from what I'm hearing, not from what I think. Next up, Texans, David Njoku, tight end from Miami, playmaker tight end. There is some rumors that he doesn't even fall to this spot. He'll go earlier in this. Young guy, a lot of talent. Texans really just going to have Fedorowicz, and who's not the greatest tight end, so they could use an upgrade there. Seahawks had Cam Robinson here, switched it to Garrett Bowles, lineman from Utah. After reviewing Cam Robinson, he's very inconsistent, I think. I don't think he's a first-round talent. Yeah, played for Alabama. Yeah, blocked some really good guys in that SEC. But I see inconsistencies that are really risky for me. So he's falling for me. Garrett Bowles and Forrest Lamp are on the rise around the league. So those are two other options there. I went with Bowles. I think it would be obviously the Seahawks need line. Could trade back a little bit too. That's the good thing. Chiefs. I have the Chiefs taking John Ross, wide receiver of Washington. Hell of an athlete. Do multiple things. Chiefs need a receiver. Maybe not the style of receiver they want, kind of like the Tyreek Hill. But I think if you have that big of a need, and this is where you should go. He might be the best player on the board here. And for a smaller guy, he can go deep. So I think he helps the team right away. So Chiefs go John Ross. Cowboys go Zach Cunningham, linebacker from Vanderbilt. Cowboys can use a player anywhere on defense. Offensively, I think the only option is receiver. I think they need a receiver more than people think. It's really just Dez. Just lock down Dez, and we're going to win the game. So get another guy over there at receiver that could help that offense by a lot. So that's an option. But Cunningham, great cover linebacker. Little bit concerned on his tackling. Nothing crazy, no crazy concerns, but he's mainly a cover linebacker. Cowboys giving up a lot of passing yards to a team like the Packers, so that could help a lot. Packers taking Jalen Tabor, corner from Florida. They got Gunter shadowing Julio Jones. Gunter's not a bad guy at all, but that can't be happening. That can't be your number one corner. They definitely need a corner, defensive back. They can't go wrong with anything on defense, really. So Jalen Tabor would be a great pick here. Steelers need edge rush upgrade linebacker. James Harrison's getting older. They just need defense, really. Charles Harris fills that position exactly. Good pick, good pass rusher. Falcons take Malik McDowell. I have him dropping a little bit. A little bit of injury concern. Production wasn't always there as well. I know maybe like a month ago he was like much higher than this, kind of dropping, but I still don't expect him to get out of the first round. This would be great for the Falcons. Added that D-line, maybe interior D-line. That would be a good pick. And then last, I have the Patriots taking Fabian Moreau, corner from UCLA. Personally, I don't have him this high. Getting pretty close. He's on the rise. But he's definitely a guy on the rise around the league. They like his man coverage, like his tackling. Got all the traits, really. I had McCaffrey here for the Patriots, but they have so many, even though Blunt's a free agent, I can see them getting him back, and they have a few other guys that they're fine with. Really, they need defense. Logan Ryan, they're in risk of losing Logan Ryan, and Fabian Moreau is the best replacement for Logan Ryan. Even though I don't have him in the first round personally, which he eventually might get there, I have him very early second. He is a good fit. He's Logan. It's the best replacement for Logan Ryan. They could definitely get Logan Ryan back, but even if they do, they could use another corner too. You always can use another corner, Butler and Ryan, and then they get Moreau. There's been talk around the league that this guy will not get out of the first round. That was a little shocking to me at the time, but I'm not going to be surprised now if it happens, and that's why I got him going to the Patriots. So that'll do it for the updated mock. Please comment with your thoughts, your questions, and stay tuned for more podcasts, more mock drafts, more draft talk. We got gaming, playoff, Super Bowl predictions coming. We got our Super Bowl predictions, and now we got a week break. Patriots, Falcons should be a good one. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.